Yo, so I wanted to have a quick look at BMX Bastards because I haven't actually covered it on my channel yet, and it's been out for a few months, I think. It just had an update with a new map and I think some new tricks and various things. So I figured it'd be a good time. And I guess before we get into the game, just have a quick look at the bike editor. You can't change any parts, but you can change colors of things. So you can have like a setup like this with white frame, white bars, like the walls or like the stripes on tires, and you can pretty much customize everything color wise, which is pretty cool. Seems to be par for the course for a lot of games these days, but you go into the game, you get you only get one map. This main map's coming soon. You get this warehouse. The map that was in the previous version, which was like the Vans Park, that's not there anymore, so you only get this one, which is a bit dark, but you know, whatever. And yeah, it's only been in development for, I think, half a year. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's pretty good progress. Obviously, if you're going to compare this to something like Streets, which has been in development forever, it's not going to look as good, and there's going to be some jank. So it's definitely like a work in progress. But I am kind of curious about how it's going to turn out in the end. It is pretty interesting. But still, if you're looking for something to pass the time while Streets is coming out, this is definitely something to play around with. I've got to remember which is which. Up, down for markers. Okay, up resets you, down puts a marker down. I really wish games would like all decide to come together and choose which direction they're going to do for putting down a marker and for resetting, because it's different. I never remember which is which in most games. I'll also try seeing how much like technical stuff you can do. I would be curious. Obviously, I'm not going to expect too much because it's very early at the minute, but stuff like this, some of this transition stuff like leads to a few janky bugs. Some of the turning is a bit weird as well. It feels like it's either too fast like that or not fast enough, like especially out of grinds, I found. Let's maybe have a quick look at the tricks as well. There you get your manual, nose manual, bunny hop, nollie, bar spins, tuck no hander, X up, turn down, tabletop, tail whip, toboggan, crank flip, kind of your standard stuff. One thing that's a little bit different to BMX Streets or Pipe is the way the grinds work. Feebles is down on the right stick 100%, Smith is up 100%. Weirdly enough, ice picks and toothpicks are like half holding it down. I would have thought it'd be the other way, to be honest. If you're in an ice pick or a toothpick, you're kind of fully leaning back or forward. I don't know. And double pegs as well. You can do some G-turn stuff as well, which also... Hang on. How do you do it again? You have to be full. Okay, fully down on the right stick. The grind stuff is kind of the hardest I've found so far. I guess that's not... like, there's no real magnets or anything. Or maybe there is magnets. Especially when you come to this thing, I usually end up manually on top. Okay, not that time. Got an overgrind there. You may have noticed there, actually, the spins out of a grind look a bit slow. Let's see if we can do a double. Maybe not. We don't actually know a lot about this. There's no Discord server or anything, so you can really ask the devs what's going on. Or like what their planned features are or anything like that. But I am curious to see if they want this to be like a simulation style thing, or I guess fairly sim-like. But where they want to go with the engine and things like that, I'm curious to see, to be honest. Let's maybe try some technical style stuff. I don't know if we'd call that technical, to be honest. Also, yeah, so fully up and down. is floating a bit. I guess that's something to do with the map, but... And then you can use the triggers to like change your hop direction, which means you can do over stuff, which is kind of interesting. Like hanging off it. But still, it's early, so we can kind of forgive that. At least the implementation's there. Being able to do over stuff is pretty interesting already. Like, if we're looking at BMX the game, we never had anything like that. You can drop into grinds as well, which hype didn't really ever let you do. Streets does, but it's a disaster. Because it's early, it's probably one of those things where you could use the jank to kind of get unusual stuff to happen. Oh, wall rides do work, from the looks of it. Yeah, like overgrind stuff actually works pretty well. I never actually tried that. I only noticed it since I've started filming this. But yeah, the wall ride. Yeah, I wish the spins were like a little bit... I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'd like it to do, to be honest, but it either feels too fast or too heavy somehow. Toboggans are like pretty quick, which is nice. Like, when you think about BMX games up until now, we've just basically had Pipe and BMX the game, which is renowned for its jank. This feels better than that does. And how long's that game been in development? I guess, well, it's not in development anymore. So it's a pretty good start, to be honest. Again, I'm sure people are going to comment saying it looks jank and that, but it's early, you know. Give them a bit of a break. Who knows what their final thing is for this will be. We get a G-turn. I mean, like, stuff like this doesn't look bad, right? It's not just me, is it? Okay, I'm not, like, sponsored or this isn't a test version and they asked me to do a video or anything. It's just kind of my own feelings on playing it so far, but it's not bad. I've played a lot of crap until this point in terms of, like, really early versions of games and things. I'm not mad about it. Does it let me do any kind of the crazy tech stuff that maybe I'd like to do? Maybe not yet. I don't think the engine's kind of advanced enough for that stuff, but... Ooh. A lot of this quarter stuff actually is probably a bit hard to ride, I've noticed. You tend to drift out. Or, I don't know. It's a bit like what Scooter Flow has, or it feels like it has sometimes, where it's maybe not quite gripping you to things, compared to Scoot, where it kind of locks you into whatever transition you're on. Some people don't like that, but I feel like it makes that stuff a lot easier. You can do little combos and stuff as well. Doesn't look too bad, I think. Yeah. Okay, I was trying to get like a 180 out of that wall ride, but struggling a little bit. This tends to work better, maybe. But you got a kind of 180 to it. Okay. Ouch. I'd also say I got a new mic. I don't know if I mentioned that anywhere else, but I went from a Blue Yeti, which I didn't know at the time was like I think it's got a compressor mic. It picks up basically everything in the room. And it annoyed the hell out of me because it got all my like stick clicking stuff, which you get a lot of in these sort of games. I changed over to a Shure MV7, which is a dynamic mic, which is kind of like used more for podcasts and focuses basically on your voice the whole time. So hopefully a lot of that clicky stuff is kind of gone. I know some people said they liked it, but it kind of bothered me that it was always in there. Because you never hear anybody else's like sticks or anything, right? So I'm kind of testing the settings, but even from like automatic, it seems to just work really well. The Blue Yeti, I had to do a load of stuff to like filter out noises and get it working. But even then, it made the voice sound weird. I was always a bit annoyed by it, so I just thought, screw it, let's get a different one. It seems to be working out pretty good, so that's one thing. Not that anybody really cares, I don't think. But you know, BMX Streets is coming out. I want to be set up properly for all that stuff. I wish you'd pivot a bit more. They did kind of pivot into a grind there, which was pretty cool, honestly. Oh, another thing, when I did a short and somebody commented on it, and I've been noticing it as well, just riding around, like the tires spin, or the wheels spin so quick, like that white logo thing looks insane, even at slow speeds. The weird thing is, when you're in the bike editor, that doesn't show up. It's not like you can remove it or anything. I prefer it to just be like black or whatever, but I guess can't really do much about that. Oh wow, you can actually like pivot out of those. I didn't know that. I do wonder what the timeline for this is, and especially like how many people are being involved in it. It seems to be pretty good for what we have, and given the amount of time. While it may not catch up to BMX Streets, because you know, 6 months versus 6 years, it's always nice to have a bit of a rivalry, or have something else that will compete. Okay. This just looks wild. But yeah, the more the merrier, I say. I admit it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I am kind of flowing around a little bit. A little bit. No, I'm not going to delude myself into thinking this is like the best looking thing ever, but... yeah. No transfer. I don't think I'd be able to get an edit out of this. Maybe, I don't know, I suppose I could. Like trying to get weird stuff out of the engine, but because it's so early, that may be a bit of a challenge. Trying to do a bonk, but it wouldn't work. But yeah, I think I've shown off the things I wanted to show off. It's just kind of me going around in circles now, but you know, not bad. If you're looking for something to pass the time until Streets comes out, because it's still apparently a few months away. We don't really know much more. There's going to be a trailer and then a release date announced after that, but who knows when that will actually be in reality. If you are looking for something in the meantime, maybe worth just playing around with and watching it as it develops. Pretty interesting, I think. Let me go back to the bike editor thing. Yeah, you can basically go through all the different parts, front and back. One problem is you can't edit something on the front and have it reflected on the back as well. So you've got to do it manually, or like get the exact same settings so it doesn't look off or whatever. But there's so much you can change. But if you're into that sort of stuff, this kind of got you covered. I don't know if they'll be including parts or anything as well, but yeah, overall pretty interesting for what it is. If you're interested, definitely go check it out, or just keep an eye out, because who knows, it may be updating at a pretty regular rate. It seems to be updating fairly quickly so far, so yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to cover. Plenty more stuff to come. I want to do some more pipe videos, maybe a session video as well. There's a new school update coming out. Yeah, lots to come, I think. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.